Thank you, the Mr. Jigmela, the representative of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Tibet House, Brazil, and Valentin Conte. Thank you for your translation. To celebrate His Holiness the Dalai Lama's 85th birthday, Tibet House, Brazil has been organizing 3 months of rigorous programs. I really congratulate the Tibet House, Brazil, Mr. Jigmela, the representative of His Holiness, for the organizing these beautiful mini programs over the last 3 months. And today, the program, the talk, is removing the 4 cognitive errors to maintain or to have a balanced emotional state. We all have say the challenges in life, be it from environment, be from your friends, your family members, your colleagues, be it from your health. There are problems, and then the fact that we are all say the born as human beings, number one. And number two, the fact that we all have, say, the physically, we are, the overall speaking, physically sound, mentally sound. This is where we should really rejoice in that. And there are always ways to maintain the balance of the emotions. There are always ways there. And of course, we need to take the steps, and then some steps you can easily take. For some steps, you need the help of other people, and so forth. So you have to know what these steps are, and then we see that there are always ways to curb your problems. And yesterday, I had a very interesting discussion with a friend of mine, with whom I was having some very casual conversation, and the topic is simply, we digress the topics to many areas. One of which was that at one point there was one person who was a little cynical of one very important person. And then I was talking to him about how we can really say the support these very precious people when somebody for no reasons baselessly try to insult, accuse the person. And then I told him that this has to be done on various levels. For example, the common people, meaning the uneducated, illiterate people, they may show some disapproval to that person. Say okay, this is one way, and then on the scholarly level, on the academic scholarly level, people can write the rebuttals to say that what you said is totally baseless for these reasons. So this was the discussion I had. So then my friend said that, okay, if you need somebody to write these articles, then I have many friends, professors. I will ask them to write the articles. I said no, because this is something which only less number of people can do. These people should know the nuances of the facts. And then somebody, just simply because the person is the scholar, and then write something, and then there are so many factual errors there, you are doing service to the other person, not to the deserving person. So I said that no. So this is something only few people can do. So what I'm saying is that the problems that we face, it can be tackled from various the ways. Some can be easily done. You can do it yourself. And some we need the help of other people. And some we need cognitive ability, to see the nuances of the reality to curb the problems. So there are various levels. So I like to just share some of the other aspects, the practice of which will help us to maintain our emotional the balance of the emotions, and then we'll go into the rectifying the four cognitive errors. One is that, say, the mental imbalance or emotional imbalance is the state where you want your mind to be in one way, but the mind behaves very differently. So therefore you are uneasy. For example, I don't want tension, I don't want stress, and then mind behaves in a very stressful way, and then I've started to feel the stress. I don't want it, but this is what is happening. So there, the thing is that your mind is not listening to you. So the one aspect, is not the full story. One aspect is that your mind, we have to train a mind to maintain single-pointedly. So for this, we need a proper instruction to do this meditation. This is known as a single-pointed meditation. We have to learn how to, say, just focus your mind, be it just observing your breath. Even that is good enough. They are very sophisticated methods, but you can just sit and observe your breath without cutting your distraction to any other things and cutting your mind from laxity. Just sit there observing your breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Just observing breath. Even that is good enough to maintain the stability of the mind. Then number two is the recognition. Be always mindful with the recognition that the world is not perfect. The world you are in is imperfect. Okay, because the world is not perfect, and you are born in this world, so you have to learn how to live in this imperfect world. In other words, you have to learn how to adjust yourself according to this imperfect world. Then the number three is say maintaining a compassionate and kind heart. Say the first one, which is the maintaining stability. Learn how to keep your mind stable, not wavering easily by the influence of the external factors. When you learn this when you train yourself, train this mind in this way, then even if the situation is not really conducive, or in other words is hostile, but your mind will not waver, and that your mind will sit the way you want it to be. So this way your mind will feel the ease, your mind will not feel disturbed. This is number one. Then the number two is the knowing the world, recognize the world is imperfect. With this awareness, the fact that we are born in the, say, imperfect world, so we should adjust with the world. And if the cow is coming, don't expect that the cow should follow the rules and regulations of the lane, traffic rules. So you have to make the way. Somehow you have to adjust, and where the cow is coming, don't say that this is not your lane, right? So knowing that the cow does not have this concept, so you should be the one to maneuver and then make your way. So if the cow is coming in the wrong direction, you will not feel agitated. Human beings coming on the wrong direction, you will feel so agitated because you have an expectation. Your agitation tortures you. So this agitation is because of the expectation that he should behave correctly and properly. She should behave correctly and properly. So there's expectation that everything should be perfect. That expectation, the world is perfect, that tortures you. Finally, you are saying that it should be perfect, because that I want happiness, and now this expectation is torturing you. It is not giving you happiness. So expecting the world to be perfect tortures you. Expecting the world is imperfect. When the cow comes, you're not agitated. You will just maneuver and you will make your way. You're just at peace. So this is how, if you don't go to the world by seeing the world as imperfect, your mind will not agitate it as much. Then number three is cultivate this compassionate heart. With a compassionate heart, you can empathize with other people. When the compassion arises, agitation towards others automatically subsides. This is a very powerful practice. And for this compassion, you may wonder how to cultivate this. One thing is that keep in mind that, okay, let's say, okay, the one time, one gentleman who must be in his 70s, when I was in my 40s, he came to my office, and then I was very busy, and he came to my office, and he had nothing to tell me. He just wanted to be with me. And then I just continued with my work, and then he realized that, okay, he will not pay attention to me. And then he said, okay, Gisela, I'll go to Lodi Garden for for meditation. And then I said, okay, very good. I was very happy. He asked me, but Gisela, tell me in a word, what should I meditate? Then I said, compassion. Then he left. Then he came back, said that compassion works so well. It works in Lodi Garden. It doesn't work in traffic. So I said, what's the problem? Then he said, in the traffic, somebody cuts, and then you become so angry. What should I do? So therefore, compassion doesn't work in traffic. This is what he said. Then I told him that just think of, that everybody has a problem. Everybody has a problem. Prime Minister has a problem. President has a problem. Kings have a problem. Queens have a problem. Right? The Mr. World has problem. Miss World has problem. Right? CEO has a problem. Vice Chancellor has a problem. Everybody has a problem. Don't keep in mind, don't think that I am the only one who has a problem, so every one of you should help me. If this is your attitude, you're torturing yourself. Whereas if you think that just as I am suffering, I need help others also need my help. If this is your attitude, your compassion will grow. When the compassion grows, your agitation subsides. It's an incredible healing. And how do we know that everybody is suffering? Some of you might think like this. That's very easy. If you are a teenager, okay, you may not know that because you are yet to see the world. But if you are 20 plus, particularly 25 plus, you have seen the world to a great extent. And 30 plus, 40 plus, you have seen the world. And you just think of anybody in your life, anybody who you know, just scan through the person's life. You see that there's nobody who has no problem. This is the reality. So from this, you can extrapolate to all the other people. And of course, these three practices are something that we can, and is something doable, not really easy. Just think about your sufferings, and if you don't want to have them, just think about your imbalance of the emotions. If you really want to have some control of your emotions, then these three practices we can do, and we have to neglect them. And keep in mind that just practicing these one day, just for a day, will not help you in any ways. Keep in mind, Rome is not built in a day. Okay, finally, the fourth one is rectifying the cognitive errors. This requires a quite intense study. Okay, that let's say that um, say you are with your say you are let's say Tiberos Brazil. So without the COVID-19, Tiberos Brazil organizes this talk, and all the participants were all together in a hall. Imagine that. Okay, now this is very important. This is very important. We must the mentally take part in this interaction. So what I ask you to do, you have to do it mentally. Let's say that you are in this hall where all the people are inside, and then okay, I'm a part of this group where Tiberos Brazil, headed by Mr. Jigme Lam, has organized this talk. Okay, we are all together here. And then while you are just sitting there with all the people, suddenly, imagine, suddenly all the people disappeared. It's just you. What is your emotional reaction? Okay, so there, for sure, you can imagine that there's going to be tremendous fear within you. That people all around me, they are like ghosts, they are like spooky, they are like ghosts. This eerie feeling coming in you. Your the say what, the tickling sensations, cold waves will grow in your body, so much of fear. You start trembling. This is what happens. This is your physiological reaction, which is bound to happen. So there, okay, now they follow what I'm saying. Before these people disappeared, you are sitting there in the same place. Your mind is also there, your body is there. Everybody disappeared. You are still sitting there. Your body is there, your mind is there. But your mind behaves very differently because the object changed. With the change in the object, your mind behaves very differently. Okay, so if you very carefully, okay, follow me. When I say imagine, you have to imagine it. If you think very carefully, think very carefully. If you think very carefully, we see that amongst these people who were with you before, amongst this, some people, they don't like you. Some people, they like you so much. Some people who don't like you, actually it's good, they disappeared, very good. Somebody who do not like you, so there is an involuntary push happening. You don't like it. I wish this person is not in this hall. So there's a push happening. Somebody who you like, you wish that this person is sitting next to me. So there's involuntary pull there. So your mind, involuntary pull and push happens in this. Suddenly, okay. No. Valentine. Okay, so there, actually you came in the hall meant to be enjoying the silence and the talk, but meanwhile your mind is pull and pushed. You don't want to be pull and push, but pull and push is happening because some people who don't like you are also there, so you're being pushed. And then some people who you like, who are sitting a little far away, you wish them to sit closer by you. There's a pull happening, pull and push happening there. So now, if all these people disappeared, the pull and push disappeared. Pull and push disappeared. This pull and push is the loss of freedom. Loss of freedom disappeared. That is a freedom. Loss of freedom, loss negative, disappeared negative, double negative positive. So your freedom is restored. This is the greatest of the freedom. Okay, so with this, so what has actually happened was that the object, there's a change in the object, and with the change in the object, then the freedom is gained. Freedom from the involuntary pull and push. That freedom is fully gained when everything disappeared because of the change in the cognitive thought process. Earlier, you saw the objects there, all the people there. Suddenly, you saw that nobody's there. There's a change in the cognitive thought process. So likewise, what we are seeing now. What we are seeing now is one, and you can see a reality different from what we are seeing. If you see that reality different from what we are seeing, it is like seeing that everybody disappears. Okay. Um, how the okay? I'm sure you have seen some optical illusions. Optical illusions. Let's say that there was once the what I saw is somebody sent me a clip, and in there, first what I saw was just a picture of the human being. It's the real, amazingly, the real picture of a human being, a gentleman. Then it took us closer towards the picture. We said this picture was actually made of all the stuff like the shoes, then the what, the spectacles, then the broken mobiles, all these useless things. Put them together in a proper way. From distance, you see as a human face, and you go there. You couldn't believe that this is what I was seeing as a human face before. This is known as optical illusion. Okay, in fact, some of you know that I lost my mother when I was 5 years old. So till like age 19, 20, my longing for my mother was so intense. And just for information, these are so to feel the weight of what we are studying in our life. These anecdotes must be reflected upon, that you should be able to flow with these emotions. This will be very helpful. My mother when I was 5, then at the age of 8, 9, for about like 3, 4 years time, this young boy was in school, and then after I lost the mother, then we were put in a school, boarding school, and this young boy simply the thought of the mother simply skipped. And it was when I was in the three, class three, that my Tibetan teacher, there was the inter-class Tibetan song competition, and my Tibetan teacher was to teach us a Tibetan song for the competition, to prepare for the competition, and he just first sang the song. And this song was a very remote village song which my mother used to sing when she was alive. And she used to cuddle the three children, me, the youngest one. I had the privilege, I was the youngest, age like 3, 4. And then my brother, my sister, two of them just cuddling. And she was in a very remote village, no work, just take care of the three children, and cuddling the three children, and on a huge boulder, cuddling the three children, and then singing the song. For the last like 3, 4 years time, I was just cut off from this song, and suddenly this teacher started to sing this song. This song was really, is not at all a very nice, elegant song. It was a very remote folk song. And I could not believe, my tears rolled down my cheeks. The nostalgia came, the pain of having lost my mother singing it was striking, reverberating in my ears. That was what is happening. So then out of that, so although I was just having nostalgia of my mother, then over time I gave up. That now there's no point. I will, somehow I will. There's no way by which I can have a magic to see my mother. I cannot see my mother at all. I gave up. But the longing to have the picture of my mother, the longing, a painful longing to have the picture of my mother was so intense, so intense. I was just thinking of ways and means. How can I get a picture of my mother? I was just thinking of that. And this is what was happening till like age the 20s, mid-20s. Okay, so a little digression before I switch to the main point. Little digression is that those of you who still have your mothers, you are very fortunate. Don't trouble your mother. Don't shout at your mother. Make your mother happy. Her job is done. Her job to grow you, strong boys, strong girls. Her job is done. Now it is your job to make her happy. Don't trouble her. This is my the suggestion to you. Okay, I have many more things to talk about it. Keeping it aside, going back to my longing to have the mother's picture. From there, I will pick up. I would very much speculate today that if there's somebody who can bring a picture of my mother, it's going to be magic in this world. I speculate that not even a picture of my mother is available today. Okay, let's say that somebody miraculously brings the picture of my mother, very low quality, maybe say 200 dpi quality. 200 dpi means a picture made of dots. The 200 dots width, 200 dots length, total 40,000 dots per inch. That makes the picture of my mother. Let's say somebody brings that picture. Okay, so let's say that because of my excessive longing to have this picture, now I got it, and then I develop it to a huge picture. Huge, like 20 feet by 20 feet picture of my mother, which is made of 40,000 dots. Okay, so this, who did it for me? It was done by Mr. Jigmela, the representative of His Holiness the Dalai Lama of Tibet House, Brazil. He did it for me. And he gave me a surprise. I did not know that he is having this picture, and he had developed it. And then I was sitting next to it, like 20 feet by 20, huge. I was sitting next to it, and I just see dots, because as you enlarge the picture, just as the dots which constitute the picture, these dots, the space between the dots also enlarge. So in front of the picture, 20 feet by 20 feet, I just see 40,000 dots. That's it. I don't see anything. Okay, Mr. Jigmela, can you come on your video, Mr. Jigmela? Jigmela ji phero na video na. Okay. So let's say there. So then I asked Mr. Jigmela, or then Mr. Jigmela then asked the Valentin Conde, and then I asked Valentin, what is this? What is all these dots? Then Valentin said, okay, I'll give you a surprise. And then he took me 100 meters away from the picture. And from there I looked at it, I see my mother's face there. So from this picture, from distance is my mother's picture. From close by it's just dots. There's no picture of my mother. So on each one of us, we are like this picture. And each one of us, like my mother's face made of the dots, each one of our face made of atoms. From distance, we see the mother's picture. From close by, we just see the dots. From distance, we see the Valentin Conte, we see Mr. Jigmela there, we see Dilshad there, we see Moi there, and then we see Abelardo, Jean, Jeet, Pia, Avelane. Then we have Beatrice. We see each one of you, but close by we just see atoms. We don't see the person. So from distance, when I look at this picture, my emotion arises, my love for my mother. The moment I'm close by, that emotion subsides. I just see dots. So the same object gives rise to different emotions. One, the emotion of the love and affection. Other, the neutral emotion arises because of the change in the perception. There's no change in the object, but change in the perception. So change the perception changes our emotions. So if you're able to change your perceptions by seeing the reality more closely, then our emotions will be under control. Now, if you go back to our original, how we started, that if you are in this hall organized by Mr. Jigmela, please raise hands. Please raise hand. Okay, Mr. Jigmela. the representative of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, Tibetos, Brazil. Say he organized, say, this talk in a hall in Brazil. So all of us are there, and suddenly, if everybody disappeared, there's a fear in you. In other words, say, if you think more deeply, we realize that this is a real freedom. You are freed from, say, involuntary push from the undesirable people, and the involuntary pull from the desirable people. You are freed. Your mind can be totally at ease. Likewise, when you see everyone in the form of the atoms, then attachment and aversion, this is my this person, this is my that person, all will dissolve. And the involuntary pull and push stops. So from this, if you can change your perception, you don't have to change the reality. Just change the perception and your emotion states will change. All control of your emotions will happen. The way that everything disappears from you, your emotion state. Initially, there's going to be a little bit of shock, the fear there. But then if you get used to this, used to meaning that if you know the reality deeper, then the undesirable people disappeared. Desirable people who pull you all the time. So most of the problems in our life, many of the problems there in our life, they are because of some people who are very close to you. Their problems, then you have to take care of them. Then all your time gone, all your energy gone, all your money gone after this person. So many problems are associated with somebody who's close, and many problems are associated with somebody who dislikes you. So therefore, all these will be dissolved when you're able to change this perception. This is a beautiful practice. It's an extremely powerful practice. And of course, what I'm talking to you now, in the monastic universities, to know this, to change this perception, they study, reflect, meditate for like 20, 30 years. And we are doing this just for 10 minutes. Right? So that's going to more, for sure, it's going to be like a trailer. It's not a real full story, right? So if you say, wow, this is something, then you have seen the trailer. If you've seen the trailer, you have to watch the movie. For that, you have to study deeper into the reality that I'm seeing. What I'm seeing, is that the real reality, or there's something reality behind this? This is what I have to study more extensively. And this concept of what we are seeing is not reality. That what we are seeing, they're all dissolved when you see the actual reality. This concept is very similar to quantum physics. And the quantum physicist, Niels Bohr, what he said was that if you study quantum physics, and if you're not shocked by it, you have not understood quantum physics. What he's saying is that the reality that you discover beyond what you are seeing is so scary. So scary, it'll make you feel, give you a shock. If this does not happen to you, you have not understood quantum physics. Likewise, when you study this concept, which I explained to you now, about the emptiness of what I'm seeing, when you study this concept, the initial experience is a tinge of a fear can come to you, a shock and a tinge of a fear, and a tickling sensation in your body will happen. Cold waves will flow through your bodies. These indications come to you, and then you continue to practice it. Then this fear, a tinge of fear, will be replaced by a very profound tranquility, extremely profound tranquility and a peace. This is what you are about to experience. So this experience is what say, you may, in your life, you may have seen some people are very courageous, very audacious, very daring, and you may be little, less daring, little scared, but this is all determined by their thinking. So if you have this experience of the ultimate reality, if you have that experience, you will become the most fearless person. You will become the most fearless person. All your fears will dissolve. This amazingly precious experience, and everybody can get it if you follow the steps to study this. reflect this, everybody will get this. All your fears will come to an end. And in our life, we are bound to encounter with difficulties, challenges, and unfortunate events. So if we study this concept, reflect on this concept, and meditate on this concept consistently, then we'll be prepared when you actually confront with these challenging times. Your mind will not be disturbed. You will forever remain at peace without any disturbance. So this is an extremely precious concept, which anybody anybody can study, reflect, and feel the effect within yourself within this very lifetime. Is very possible. Okay, so this concept, this being subtle, very subtle, because we have never experienced that before, like quantum physics. Therefore, this concept has to be understood on steps, various steps, and say overall speaking, in simple terms, they are like the 4 steps, unfolding the 4 layers, unfolding the 4 layers. So this is how we have to follow step by step. So this is known as the unfolding the form, the realities, 4 layers of the realities to get into the 4 cognitive errors, and eventually you reach to the level whereby you come to realize that everything is like an illusion. Nothing is real, everything is like illusion, and then everything is like a dream. You wake up, your fear of the dream stops. That is the final answer, the unfolding of the 4th level of the reality. Okay, thank you. Any questions?
Geshe, actually, I'm going to ask a question on behalf of one of our participants. She is a very systematic student. She realized that last time we didn't have the time to answer one question. So you proposed 2 questions. One of the questions, and the one that went missing, is you said, so on the one hand, everything is like illusion. But people might be thinking, COVID-19 is real. People are really dying out there. So it's a concrete problem. And we are extremely concerned about it. So how can we deal with this as part of the illusion? So remember, you asked that question, but we didn't have time to approach it. So on behalf of Sylvia, can you please unfold on that question?
Okay, thank you. This is a very good question. This is a very good point. This makes me to be connected to a very important point. When I speak about everything is like illusion. Everything is like illusion, and everything is illusion. There's a difference. Everything is illusion, and everything is like illusion. Everything is illusion. If I say everything is illusion, I'm saying that cause and effect efficacy is not there. If it is illusion like, if everything is illusion like, not illusion, then the difference is that the cause effect efficacy is there. How? That I'll explain. Okay. So when we discuss these points, like everything's like illusion, your perception is not the reality. So for any questions that come to you, you must bring this up. If you are left with questions not addressed, then this concept will forever remain hazy.
Sorry, Geshe, can you repeat it? The audio cut a little bit.
Okay. Say when we discuss on these complicated topics, you are bound to have complicated questions. When the questions are there, you must bring these up. These questions, you have to bring this up. If you don't bring these questions up, if these questions are not addressed, then your this concept will remain hazy. Okay. So now for this, what we have to do is we talk that, for example, let's say the dream is coming from your mind. Okay. In a loose sense, if I ask you, what is this? You will say, this is a flower. And if I ask you, what is this? You will say, there's nothing there. Then I ask you to imagine a blue flower. Now I ask you, what is this? You will say, this red flower. What is this? You may say, this is a blue flower. It's not a blue flower. There's no flower there. It's an imaginary blue flower. If I ask you, what is the difference between these two things? This red flower and the imaginary blue flower, what is the difference? Most of you will say that this is something there in the object. This is coming from your mind. This distinction you will say. One is from the object, one is from the subject. So this red flower, you will say this exists objectively. Imaginary blue flower, you say it exists subjectively. So if I say that, oh, this flower is, say, let's say, this flower lying close by Wellington Conde, is close by there, and then I picked it up. I said that this is mine. When I say this, explicitly I say that this is mine. Implicitly I'm saying that it is not yours. Likewise, objective existence and the imaginary blue flower subjective existence. When I say that imaginary blue flower is subjectively existent, explicitly you are saying that it is subjectively real. Implicitly you are saying that it is empty of objective existence. Now the dream, if I ask you what is dream, objectively real or subjectively real, you'll all say subjectively real. So what I'm saying is that everything is like a dream. Just as the dream is coming from the subject, everything is coming from the subject. So when I say everything is subjectively real, implicitly I'm saying that nothing exists objectively real. So objectively real and independent real, these two are same. Now, when I say that everything is subjectively real, nothing is objectively real. Nothing is independently real. Because nothing is independently real, COVID-19 is not independently real. Because COVID-19 is not independently real, it is dependently real. COVID-19 is dependent on not putting on the mask, not keeping social distancing, and going in the crowd, going in the public transportation. So dependence on these, COVID-19 is not independent, it is dependently real. Because it is dependently real, take care of the factors. Don't go into the factors dependent upon which COVID-19 comes to you. So when we say COVID-19 is like illusion, it is saying COVID-19 is empty of objective existence. Empty of objective existence means it is empty of independent existence. So for that, we have to know 5 points. 1, illusion or emptiness. Emptiness does not mean nothingness. Emptiness is a short form of emptiness of independent existence. Then emptiness of independent existence means, number 3, nothing exists independently. Number 4, nothing exists independently means everything exists by dependence. Number 5, everything exists by dependence means everything is dependently originated. From these 5 reasons, we come to know that emptiness does not mean illusion, it means illusion-like. It is the meaning of dependent origination. It is not nothingness, it means dependent origination.
Geshe, I'm not sure if I got all the points.
Okay,
So
I'll say it again. First
Number
one
one.
is emptiness. First is emptiness.
Mhm.
Number two is that emptiness is a short form of emptiness of independent existence. Number three, emptiness of independent existence means nothing exists independently. Number three.
Mhm.
Number four, nothing exists independent means everything exists by dependence.
Mhm.
Everything exists by dependence means everything is dependently originated. So emptiness, illusion like, it doesn't mean illusion, it doesn't mean nothingness, it means dependent origination. So therefore, when we say COVID-19 is illusion like, it means it is empty of objective existence, which means it is dependently originated. It is dependent originated means COVID-19 is dependent on many factors like no mask, no social distancing, then no immune system, no taking care of your immune system. So, and then not taking care of your travels. With these factors, then COVID-19 comes to you. By dependence on these factors, COVID-19 comes to you. If you don't want that, remove the dependent factors. Use mask, build your immune system, maintain social distancing, don't travel unnecessarily, stay away from all these factors. So when these factors are gone, then the COVID-19 is gone from you. So we have to make a distinction between illusion and illusion-like. In the differences, in the illusion-like, dependent origination is operating. In the illusion, dependent origination is defied. So therefore, COVID-19 is not illusion. It is illusion-like. It operates in dependent origination. So we should take care of the dependent factors upon which the COVID-19 is dependent, and then stay away from COVID-19 by staying away from the conditions dependent upon which the COVID-19 arises. Okay, more questions?
So, Geshe-la,
Ah,
Beatriz is asking you to describe the four layers and how to unfold them.
wonderful. Okay,
Yeah, well, we have 4 minutes and four layers.
okay. So the four layers, I will just indicate what the four layers are. I cannot go through the details. For the details, you have to make a request to Mr. Jimela to invite the teachers to Brazil later on. Okay, the first layer is emptiness of permanent, unitary, independent self.
Sorry, can you repeat?
Emptiness of permanent, unitary, independent self. Then number two is emptiness of autonomous, substantial reality.
Então, a segunda seria o vazio de uma existência autônoma.
Then number three is emptiness of external reality. Then number four is emptiness of independent reality. Yeah, these are the four.
Well, you made it, Geshe-la. Thank you very much. 3 minutes.
Welcome.
Então, eu gostaria agora é, agradecer muito, Geshe-la. Geshe-la, thank you so much. It was extremely enlightening. You have um, you have no idea how many requests I have got this week about your class, this last Zoom call. People are really appreciating our time together and your teachings. So I must thank you for all your time and all your attention, your care with us. Your classes have not only been super helpful in dealing with our emotional issues, but also extremely fun. You always bring light and very very interesting stories, anecdotes, and examples to your classes, which make them very vivid, very lively. You're such a wonderful teacher. I must thank you. On a personal level, as a translator, I have learned so much, but also on a professional level, it's very good to work with such a wise person. Thank you very much, Geshe.
Thank you so much. Thank you.